I don't know what you guys use, but I prefer to wash the car first. Then I use baby soap on the water, and it works it works really well. We clean it, we clay the car. This one is not clay. It's a little bit rough today. So then we alcohol it. The alcohol is only to discontaminate the last grease or anything on the surface. For the SLX, you want to do that very well. That way it can stick really well. So this one, it already is pre-cut. So I'm just going to teach you how put it in the center and how to manage. So first, I can show you right here. We got the corner. I don't know if you all guys see right here. The way I do one of the times is I only pass like 1/2 inch away from the edge right here. That way I know it's aligned. Then go to the other corner. And I do exactly the same. This is a good reference for aligning the material. If it's too deep right here, you can come with this little tool right here that it works really well. The body fender, and you cut the excess right here. You leave yourself enough space so you don't get short. That way, let me cut the liner, sorry. So let me go with the knife right here real quick. So now the windshield is not on the way and the material is completely flat. On this one, the graphic itself is telling us where is the center. You can use any guide of the car to find the center. Sometimes I like to fold the material in half. That way you got a line too. That's another way you can do to find the center. I always say to the guys, align on the center and top to bottom. Top to bottom, we did it with the corner. That's a good point to for any installer, any rookie installers. This is a good way to know that your graphic is going to be straight. If you align in the same spots in these two sides, you know it's going to be straight. And then right here, we find the center right here with the usually the meter of each car is on the center, or sometimes the car has right here like a little mark on the windshield. That's the center too. So right now we got on the center, we got our line top to bottom. Sorry. So right now I'm taking my magnets. This car is magnetic. That's good. Some cars are not magnetic. So I can teach you with another piece of material how to do it if it doesn't have any vinyl, any magnets. But we're gonna use the magnet right now. We're gonna come right here and cut some excess too. Usually, when you got a piece like this, you don't want these sharp corners. When you're taking the backing off, this corner will jam on you and it will create a crease. And if you're using like reflective or something, it will create a bruise. So you want to avoid any excess material that it will get you in your way for your installations. Because this is a big hood, I'm not gonna wrap it all around the hood. So we're just gonna use like this area of the hood. So I'm gonna come right here, and usually you just want, oh, this one is not working. And do like a round corner. So that way, when you're taking the backing out, it will help you out. If you come right here and see, we split the material with the body fender on the back. It's already done, but I can show you guys how to do it. We divide this hood in a T. So we usually start dividing on the center, and then this bottom part, we do it separate. So you can lay down the material on your table, and you're gonna use your body fender. I'm gonna peel a little bit. right here. Make sure when you're gonna do it, the material is flat. You don't want to be creasing or something because then the tool is gonna jam on the material. See, and because it's SLX, it doesn't stick in the Teflon. It's easier to do it on this type of material. Other materials are a little more sticky, so it's gonna stick. So if you're gonna use it on high tack, on any other permanent glue, be aware that it can jam. So you need to be real careful how you do it. On the SLX, it works perfectly. So on this part, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hold this a little bit. And then I don't want to expose the ink, so I'm going to hold it. I'm going to put it this way, and with my hand, I'm just going to in an angle. If you do it on this side, it can jam on you. If you do it in angle, it can release a little bit easier. That way, you're not exposing the ink, and you're not getting any contaminations underneath if you do it that way. Always roll your trash, put it underneath the car or away because it's real slippery. You can come right here, and if you see the material, it basically moves all over the hood, so it's not sticking. You can come right here, compared to other materials, you can lay it down. If you put any force in my hand like this, then it will grab, because this is the SLX Plus, we got more grab, initial tap. So we come right here, we use this as a guide. So you want to come right here and put your material exactly in your point right there. Oh, where am I speaking? So I'm gonna come right here. The squeegee comes out. I'm always gonna look for the high points on any vehicle. On this one, this is a high point. So I'm just gonna stick the material right here. Gonna stick a little bit, couple inches. If you got a flat surface, you can stick a little more, so your material does not move. And if you see, you got more in each attack. Once you start heating up, it will grab even more. So we come right here. If you want to be safe, you can come with your magnet away from the hood, and put a magnet right there. So in case you move it by mistake, someone can try to help you, and you move the registration, that way it doesn't move on you. Okay? So we're trying to lay out the material as fast as possible. We take this out of here. And then we come right here, and we're gonna do the same that we did. On the other side, we can roll this. See, if you got a sharp edge, it's a little more difficult. Where's my edge? Okay. Right. So I'm gonna do a sharp edge right here. Take this out of the way. Then with this material, it's real easy to come and just grab the corner, fold it over, and basically take it out. That way you avoid the contaminations on the car or any surface. So we got it stick over there. And now we're gonna come right here.
What do you do if it actually gets dirt on it? Let's say right now, wind comes or something and you get dirt on the bottom of it.
That's a good question. So if you get dirt on this material, I would say if it's too much, you will have to redo the piece. It sticks too much to the glue, so that way you're gonna have a lot of spots with dirt. So and you don't want to do that. If something gets underneath, you should change the piece. If it's something like you touch it with your hands or something, this material actually you can grab a little bit water, soapy water, and clean it, but little. Do not splash the material. Just go and try to take out those little spots that you get dirt on it. But again, if it's too much and you stick it and you see it, I don't recommend you to do that to the client. Even if you have to reprint it, I suggest you to just change it.
Okay.
flat. We come right here, we put a little tense. You see how the material is telling you these fingers. So you need tension to this side. So you just put a little bit of tension to this side, and then where we put is supposed to lay down right there when we when we first put it. So right now we got all this flat area. Let me put a little more tension right here. The material, you don't need to stretch it too much. Just keep the tension. You can stick right here so it doesn't move on you. And it's right there when we want it. So we stick it right here on a high point. Now we got all the center to work out, and then this border part. The way we divide it on the backing behind, that's almost the same way we're gonna install it. I like to divide the materials always half, half. So if you got this big P, we divide it right here. So we're gonna start sticking on another high point. We're gonna go all the way up, all the way down, but leave us a space right here so we can lift and take the rest of the backing out. If you come right here and then stick too close, you're giving you no space. And when you're trying to peel the backing, it will break on you. So you leave a couple inches right there. You have the center. So right now, we can come to this side and start literally slicing the material. We got a couple of wrinkles right there. So we can lift the material real easy and then put a little more tension so it doesn't jam on you right there. Sometimes the material, you need an extra hand right here, just putting a little tension so the material don't jam. So you just put a little bit of tension right here and you go slicing the material, and seeing right here, we got the antenna. We're gonna have that part so we don't have to cut on the part. So we're gonna go around. And then right here we stick, but we need to take it out so we can get the air, because we're squeezing this side. Okay, see how the air is coming. On these recesses, the material will conform basically with no heat. You see how right here we got a little bit of jump. You put a little bit of tension right here. You can keep squeezing the material out. I'm gonna leave a space right here for the nozzle. If you got a crease like this, you can simply go with your finger and put it out. Like I said, I'm not gonna go too close to the nozzle, so I'm gonna leave a little bit of space right there. But good thing, if you get any wrinkles, like you just saw, you can just simply peel the material out, readjust, put a little bit of tension, and you can keep going. You don't need heat so far to repose the material. Okay, so we got this part. If I was gonna do the nozzle, I would open right here first. I would not jam it right there. The tighter you put anything, the more fingers you're gonna get once you open it. So let's say I'm gonna do this and you can't remove the nozzle. I will open a little hole on the nozzle and then I will heat the material. I don't wanna cut, actually, probably I can try it so you guys see it. With your blade real small, you can come right here and open a little bit. And when you do these type of cuts, I know it's a little bit difficult, but try to do it in a circle. If you do sharp like this, the material will still ripping. If you go and do a cut like a U-form, doesn't matter how much you pull, you're not gonna rip it. So every time you cut something, slice something, because you need to get your free space, try to have in a round corner, not in a sharp. I know sometimes it's difficult, like the cuts I'm doing right now, but I know if you cut sharp, you are gonna get it's gonna get ripped. So I got a couple of fingers right here. With the SLX, I always give myself a lot of space. So if I'm gonna do a nozzle, I will pop a little bit more. Let me go to this side so I can get that wrinkle so you can see. And then you readjust, and then you come with the heat. The closer you are to the material, the faster you want to move the heat gun, the torch. You see how basically I'm shrinking the material. That's how I call it. Yeah. You come right here, heat up. Now the material is completely flat. Once you heat up, do not put your squeegee right away. If you do it right away, I can guarantee you will create a mark on the lamination because it's too hot. So your squeegee will get stuck. Some people that go just sticking and sticking, but then you will see some marks on the vinyl. You avoid that, giving the material a couple of seconds to like cool down a little bit. That way your squeegee does not jam on you. And if you come right here, I'm always literally like slicing the material so the air flows to the channels. See, I'm getting close to the nozzle. You see this, it has a lot of tension right here. So probably we can open a little more so we don't have tension right there. Can grab my tool and just pop this a little bit. Keep space to the material. Okay, so right now we're gonna open a little bit more right here so we can release that tension. Okay, and take this out. And now I heat up a little bit so the material shrink back. And then when we go with the squeegee, does not shrink on us. I'm sorry? Right here? Okay, yeah, let me finish right here and I do it. Okay, so you see that I give a lot of material to this nozzle and I start like go in, and as I go, I touch the material and you can feel the tension on the material. And you want less tension on the material. That way, when you do the final cut, it will not finger on you. So you come right here. Start pushing the material in. Sometimes you need to grab a tool and just give a little space so material walks into all the areas. So if you come and see, I can cut this right now and I can heat up and it will not shrink on me because I basically walk the material in. And if you see the lines right here as a guide, it doesn't have any stretch at all. All the lines are basically completely straight. So that means the material has no tension. So when you cut and trim, you will have no issue with that nozzle. So let's do right here the light. This car is actually a little bit complex to do. So I'm going to try to show you how I would do it. No, I can do this side. Okay, so I'm going to do this side for you guys. We're going to take the rest of the backing out. So let's go to the corner. Okay. I'm gonna start installing all this part and then I'm gonna come right here. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do the corner. So I'm gonna start right here. Then I'm gonna keep sliding with a little bit of tension on the bottom. I'm just gonna do the corner for you guys. I don't have enough material, but I'm gonna do this area. So right here, you see how I'm pulling the material? I'm gonna start heating up, but I want the material to be tense. I don't want to be pulling too much because you're gonna start heating up and then you're gonna disturb the image. So you do want to put tension on the material. And you're gonna start heating up all the area that we're gonna do a stretch. It's been a while to find. So, so you see how close I'm to the material because I want to get it. I don't have a line. So when I'm heating over here, right here is getting cold. So I'm heating the material real well. So it gives me enough time for me to do that hole that I'm gonna do. So you can get close to the material. As long as you are moving the heat gun, it won't burn on you. But the closer you are to the material, the faster you need to move with the torch. Okay. And we're gonna do it in parts. We're not gonna try to do all the in one. Okay. So I gotta heat up, right? And then I always heat up and wait a couple seconds so I can pull. So it's not completely hot. So we're gonna pull. You see how the material is gonna move over there? All the way down. What I want is this first center area completely smooth. That way, again, I'm dividing the material right here. So right now I can squeeze this part up to here, and then I can peel this side and work with this side separate, and then with the center separate. If you're trying to do it at once, you will need extra hands or something, but if you're in solo, this is one of the ways. You come right here. Remember, you're taking the air out, so you need a way out for the air to come. So I'm lifting a little bit right there, and I'm squeezing down. Okay, then come right here, peel this back, put a little bit of tension, and I want those wrinkles to go away first before I do the heating. Okay, so now I come right here again and heat up this section right here so we can get the headlight. And tension on the material right here, and you start heating up again.
You prefer the heat gun versus the torch?
So in my case, I prefer the torch just because I don't like to work with the cord. We always moving in the shop. So, but if you have no experience, I suggest you to start with the heat gun, get used to the heat of the heat gun, and then try the torch because you can burn the material real quick. So we let it sit for a couple seconds and then we pull again. Now that I pull right there, obviously we're not gonna get covered the headlights. So right here we can do two things. I can keep stretching here, keep stretching a little bit there, and I'm gonna get it done, but it can distort the material. On these type of vehicles, like the Mini Coopers, we like to open a circle. That way the material relax. Same thing we did with the windshield, so we can do it here. We can measure it or see it right here. We can lift it a little bit, and with the knife, we can come right here and make an open. Obviously, be careful to not cut or make the hole too big. Yep, no problem. So come right here, do it that way. See how right now, basically, I have no tension right here, and I can pull, the same technique, pull right here, with the torch is a little bit slow, the heating process, but actually you got more control of the heat that you're putting to the surface. We let it sit for a couple seconds, and then we want good. So right here we got this finger, so you want to pull to this side and readjust the material. Even when it's not too hot, the material will still flexible enough for you to pull. And if you see the lines, the way we're doing it, they're not disturbing too much. So, and that's what we want, because if we got some images, then you just don't want to pull and pull and pull. And then when you have a straight line, you have a cricket line. So this is one of the ways to do this headlight. You can open it right here, but if you had a big piece, if I have enough time, enough material, I can come and just do one big pull and wrap it at once. Okay. Oh, sorry. But I can give you more details of that on the class. So let's go to the recess for the streaming purposes. Okay. Oh, I got stuck on this. Sorry. Oh, yeah, I got you. Oh my God. Yeah. Right. Okay. So we can keep going on the class. So let's go to the recess area. So let me take this heat gun with me. Huh? Yeah, to this side right here. Yeah. So if you wanna come to this side so you can see the recess area. Let me get a piece real quick. This is as an experience. Okay. I already cleaned the surface on these ones. Yeah. So on these recess, it's not that deep, so it's not that difficult to do. I'm going to show you one of the ways that I will do it. You can come right here. We use our slither to cut the backing or body panel right here. Open, put tension right here. We'll cut the backing paper just fine. And before, fold it over, so we can little bit. We come right here, put it down, so that way, again, you're covering the glue, and you're not getting any contamination underneath. Okay, let's put it there. We're gonna stick this area. It doesn't move on us. Okay, and then I'm gonna release the vacuum on the tip. Then right here, I will grab it and go with the surface. That way, you're not exposing the glue. And if you're working outside, that's a good way to do it. So you don't, if you get the wind, you get this. Okay, so we here on the ridges. If you see the material still easy to work with. Until I put pressure, I always like to squeeze from the center out, the center out. If you start from here, you see how the material is pushing. So chances are that you're gonna create a crease. So you start from the center out. On this recess, on this one, I would like to walk the material. So that means I will have my squeegee, my soft squeegee, or my glove, and I can do it different ways. You can come right here and basically leave this open, if it's the top part, and basically walk in the material. Okay, see, no heat. You just put your fingers on it. And because it has no tension, you walk the material in, the material won't come back because you basically walk in the material. If it got bubbles like this, you can easily peel it back. I always say, don't be afraid of the material. If you need to peel it back, peel it back. And basically you're walking the material in, which is key. It's almost the same technique. You push it in evenly, and then you walk in the material, right? On this one, I can, because it's so light, I can come and basically with the heat gun, I always like to heat up the material so you relax first, and then I like to squeeze. You see how close I am to the material, but I'm moving fast. You see how the fingers, they shrink and then they go away and relax. So you can basically see, squeeze the air out and it will go right away. This type of wrinkles, you just peel it back, and then you can squeeze that material. Right here is the same technique of the bridge, but it's because it's so small, you can't leave a lot. So you just heat right there real good the first time, and then you heat up on top. Then with your finger, start always on the center, way out. Heat up a little bit again right here. And just put your way out right here. It's so small that if you leave excess material bridge, it will go in with no issue. And then you come right here, heat up again, see if it bubbles. We gotta do over right there, but because we work the material in, we push the material in, it will go away. And then you just keep squeezing. See how the material sounds? Because I'm putting the first push that I did, I don't put too much pressure. If you put too much pressure, you're gonna get the material stuck. If you go literally like slicing the material, even these little wrinkles right here, you can go with the finger because they have no tension. You can get it out super quick and easy, okay? Obviously I close myself right there, so, but we can come right here. If you close yourself on a group, and we adjust, pick it up, your light again, and I'm sure it's fine. So that's a good thing about this material, that if you make a mistake, you can just peel it back and readjust. You can do that 2-3 times. Obviously, if you do it too much, you're gonna get there behind, and chances are that after a while, it's gonna lose the, the initial time. We come right here again, we can heat up real close. We come again real close. We give a couple of seconds so it cools down a little, and you're gonna feel with your glove if it gets stuck. Because you want it to be hot, but not super hot, because then your glove or squeegee won't slide. Okay, so on this one, it's a little more complicated. Again, we're gonna come right here. We're gonna see the high point. On these ones, if you push it in, I can come right here. The material will take the stretch, but chances are that it's gonna feel. If you come right here and just heat up like this and put tension and come right here and do this, I can guarantee you it's gonna fail. I did many of this. The best chance that you have with this type of group right here is if you walk them in. Again, a little bit of heat. You let the material rest for a couple of seconds. If you heat the material a lot, I'm sorry, if you heat up the material a lot, you want to give a couple of seconds so it cools down. Never work on the material when it's super hot. So right here, okay, we got it like that. We're gonna stick this right here. And then I'm gonna cut the excess so we got access to the back. Then right here, you wanna start with your soft squeegee. One, this is soft, so it flex. If you're using a rigid one, then it will be a little bit harder to do, like this one. And then there's another one that is even harder. So I recommend the soft ones, so the squeegee conforms to the surface. And with your other hand, basically, you're just gonna keep the material away from sticking. Okay, if you see, I'm doing this cold. So if it's cold and you walk the material in, it's not gonna come back. It takes more time, but this is one of the only ways that you know it's not gonna fail. And at the end, that's what we all want, but the material don't fail. Okay, if you see, I put this part of the groove completely with no heat, but now we got the tension right here. We just need to come over here, leave the material a little bit, heat up a little bit, heat up a little bit. See how basically with no squeegee, the material conforms to the surface. And then you're gonna see reference right here, the fingers, you lift it a little bit, you heat up, and the material will conform again. Okay. Then you come with your squeegee, with your wrap glove, and stick the rest. And if you see, this way, the graphic didn't disturb at all. For these grooves, this is one of the only ways I recommend that you walk the groove if you're trying to push it in, because you don't have too much space here to use the bridge technique. So I prefer to walk it in. That way I know me or any installer is not gonna get bubbles right here, because if they walk the material in, I can guarantee you it's going nowhere. And right here, we just keep applying, and the graphic has no distortion at all. So that's a good technique for this type of groove. Like I said, on this one, I can show you how to do the cut and drop, but because it's so small, we won't be able to do it a lot, but I'm gonna do it anyway, so you have an idea of how it is, okay? So I'm gonna grab another piece so I can show you right away, okay? I'm gonna grab the SLX. So this one is a SLX, very first one. So the initial tag of this one is almost none. You're gonna see in a minute. You can use this leader, or this is another way to remove the graphic. You can come right here, peel a little bit, fold it in, tuck it in. If you got a magnet, take yourself so it doesn't peel on it doesn't fail on you, because on this one, the initial tag is so low that if I come right here and peel it, it's gonna come on me. So take this one out, and then just peeling. The same technique we use for the hood. We save the material right here, and then we come all the way. That way, the material is not contaminated. On this one, it's even a little bit tacky right now. Maybe it's the temperature, but super low tack. See, I almost don't stick. Even if I stick it, it comes out real easy. Okay. So let me save it right here. We have finish line right there. So in a big groove, you want to put your knifeless tape inside. On this one, I can do it. I cannot do it like that because it's so small, but you'll be in the inside like this, right? You're gonna put the knifeless tape inside. leave yourself a big in both sides. Because if you don't leave a big excess right here, then it's kind of tricky to get out. So we're gonna come right here. Basically, we're gonna heat up. If we will have a big recess, then I will do the heating. You come right here, push it in a little bit, heat up again. Then from the center out, you push in, heat up, so it doesn't cool down too much. Wait a couple seconds, push in. Usually the vinyl on top of the knife, let's say, it doesn't stick really well. So if you see like it's not sticking on the knife, let's say, that's normal because it's not sticking on the knife, let's say. Once you do your groove with knife, let's say, you push it in, you come right here, fold it over like this, put your finger right here, and with one big pull, you take that one out. We already passed the start of the vinyl, so we just make one pull and keep going. And as you go, if you're doing curves, you have to pull the knife, let's say, the way you put the knife. Let's say if I come right here and I pull down, it's gonna go differently. And then if I switch it to the top, it's gonna create a curve on that knife, let's say. So every time you do knife, let's say, you wanna go with the knife, let's say, okay? Then we come right here and we take, there are always gonna be two tapes. The very first one, if you take one first, it should be the one that you see from my side, and then the other one is the one that you don't see. So you have to take both out. You can take one first and then the other one. Usually when you take the one out first, when it touches the final, it lifts a little bit of the one that is inside. That's something the knife, let's say, does. Then we open the groove, we push it in first with the hand or the squeegee, a soft push, because if it's cricket or some or it's jam, when you put that much force, you're gonna jam it more. So you wanna go slow first, and then you create a big push. You come right here, you heat up. Push again. And that way, you know, your groove is not gonna come anywhere because you already open it, so you release that stretch on the groove. Again, on this one, it's a little bit complicated to see it because it's so small, but on a big groove, you will see if you put too much stress, you will see the material shrinking back on you. And that's what we don't want. We want the material to relax on that groove. So this is a perfect example of the grooves. Again, if you did something wrong on this one, I already said, you can check it out easily. Huh? Say an answer. Yeah, so if you guys got any questions about the groove, about other reasons, about handles, you can ask me now and I can answer to you guys. All good? Any questions? You know how to work with the recess? So I can give you material and you're gonna do it right now, right? No? No? Oh, okay, cool.
What about if you color everything?
Well, you can do it. Well, on this one, it's kind of tricky because you don't have a way to put your knife, let's say, without cutting the material. On this one, I would suggest to cut it right there, but it has to be an experienced guy because then you can damage the paint, and that's what we don't want. There's if you don't have practice or something, I don't suggest you to do that. But if that's the only option and you got an experienced installer, then you can open it with a single cut. You can also put tape underneath, a small thin tape. You go all around and then that tape can help you as a barrier for the paint. And then you just take it out the exact way. Or in some cases, I do it myself. I use the knife, let's say, as a barrier for that cut. So I come with a knife, let's say, and I go all over the group and I basically finish it on top, so it doesn't have a way out. And then I install, and then I go with my knife and I cut on top of the knife set on the knifeless tape, and then I just take the knifeless tape up. That's another trick. I mean, it's not the way it was made, but sometimes on these cases, you cannot put the knifeless tape over here, because if you do, you will create right here a cut, and that's what we don't want. So you can use a knifeless tape as a bodyguard for you to cut on the car. Again, it has to be a light cut, because you can damage the paint even with the knifeless tape. Yeah. I know someone was gonna ask that, because right here you can do that. So yeah, I knew. Any other questions that you have? Huh? Any recommendation for finish? So finishes on commercial wraps. I'm trying to create this thing that you don't need to go all the way in. It's not necessary, because it's a commercial wrap. And that way, in my case, when I'm training people, I can show you right now, I always say, go about an inch in, right? Let's say we have knifeless tape on the inside. So I'm gonna finish this part so you can see how I will do it, right? We'll come right here, finish this little piece. Okay. Show you. Clean up. Here we go a little bit. So one single push, and we can take these wrinkles out. For some wrinkles, you can put a little bit of force and it will take out. If you got a wrinkle like that, doesn't matter how small it is, take your time, peel the material back and get it fixed. Don't try to just, oh, it's a small wrinkle right there, nobody's gonna see it. No, take your time to peel back the material. It's super easy to do, like this one. If I come and I see one of my installers doing that, I say, why you take the time? You just need to just push it back a little bit more, hit it up, press it, and it's done. Okay. Take your time to take out those little grooves, those little wrinkles. Take your time. Push in. I always stepping on this. Sorry. Come right here. I like to use my soft squeeze because it molds the surface, and you can push it cold that way. It doesn't come back. But if it's wrinkly, you just heat up a little bit and keep pushing it. So right there, let's see, and heat up a little more just to be safe. And you see the material not moving too much. So that means the tension is not that much. So when we do the cut, it's not gonna move on us. You stick again with the squeegee, right? So for us, if you ask us, right there, the cut will be here. It's not all the way in, but it's 1 inch above the, when people see it, you barely see the inside. Again, this one is clean and everything, but you get some bands that they're not that clean, they're really rusty, they're really bad. So for that, then I come with a fresh new blade. If you don't use the knifeless tape, make sure you do this with a fresh new blade. Get a good position. I always use my fingers as a guide. So I come right here and I start the cut. And I'm using my finger as a guide. Okay. So see, for us, that's a nice clean cut. Still, you don't need to push it all the way in to come right here and flush cut it. And for the commercial bands, this is something that probably nobody tells you. This is acceptable, is good. And I come to all my wraps and we seal these edges. We don't leave it open. Remember, people, they don't take care of the cars. They wash it anywhere. They pressure wash it. They go off road with the vans. So I come with the clear sealer tape and I come right here and I seal all the edges. I can guarantee you, you will not have any car back if you seal it. That means if someone stretches it too much, you still good because it's gonna hold. That this way, if you leave it open and the installer is not that good, you know if he starts fingering from here and he get there, that's done. Then you will have a client coming back because he got a little finger right here, and now you have to replace the whole panel because someone don't took 5 minutes and just seal the edge. That's something nobody took. 5 minutes? Okay.
Yeah, Victor, I have a question now. Can you hear me okay?
I'm sorry?
Louis has a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if this van has like plastic trim. So what's your usual approach when a customer insists that you wrap on those plastic trims, like the door handle that you see like that? Do you sell them away from it, or you use a special products?
Okay. This plastic, if you come right here and touch it, I always go to the client and say, it's too slippery. If I use high tack, yeah, it's gonna stick on the plastic, but that's not the usual thing. So I always say to the client, we don't wrap this, stay away from this, even if you use a good material and it stick at the moment, it might fail, not because the material is bad, it's because the surface is so slippery that it's gonna reject sooner or later the material. And almost any plastic like rubber like this, these type of meters, anything that you touch and it feels slippery, I always say it's either you use a high-tech material or you say we can wrap this, because you want the material to last. You don't want just to sell something for the moment, because then you're gonna have a hard time. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good, Victor. Thanks. And that's the only question that I have. Are there anything else there in the floor?
You have another question about trimming, cutting, installing? Yeah.
What would be the best way to work around door hinges?
These ones?
Yeah.
Okay, this one in particular. If I
What was
got
the question there, Victor?
I'm sorry?
What was the question?
Oh, the question was how, what's the best way to work around these hinges?
Right.
You hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so on these hinges, it's tricky. It's not that simple, but I figured the best way, if I got a piece, I'm just gonna use this same piece. I got it right here. See how good it is? I can use it again. So we put it right here. If I got a big piece, what I'm trying to do, well, first you can tape those. So if you're gonna cut right there, you don't cut them. But if I got a piece like this, what I like to do is either slice it, do a little bit of a slice smaller, but it has to be, like I told you, like a round thing. So it doesn't open on you, right? And you basically are gonna do a little rectangle, but with no sharp points. Okay, don't do it too big, because if you do it too big, then when you're gonna fit it in, it's gonna be way too big. Again, on these areas, on these ones, you can fit it in with no issue. On these ones, I always go only a half of an inch in right here. So basically the body line, helps, you can put knife lip right here, a little bit above right here, the edge, and that's completely fine. You don't need to get yourself crazy trying to fit it on the back. You just explain and educate the client that this is the right way to do it, because it's more effective for us to install, and then you don't have that excess material lifting right here and probably bubble up because you're trying to wrap every single tin out of the car. On this one, I'm gonna show you one of the techniques. It's a bit right here. You can do that hole small, take away the material with your hands on the back. Be sure that they're clean, so you don't get contamination on the material. You heat it up real good. You're gonna see the material that is real hot because it gets really gummy. You can see how it flies, right? So I'm gonna start opening this. And then I'm just gonna literally just when it's a little bit colder, I start pushing in the material into. Once you got it like that, see? Now you start heating up again, real nice and slow, so the material will go to the original form. And because it's like technology, you see how it moves. So that's a way you create small circle or small shape with no sharp edges. You heat it up and you basically open a little bit and then work the material in. So, and right here, let me see if I can just finish it so you can see. Then just squeeze it in. And you have an access point. So if you make a mistake or something, you work this side, you finish it, put it nice right there. And then if you make a mistake, you can slice it right here and fix it. See, and even right here, we didn't reach that much, but something like that, it will be acceptable. You can go crazy because if I got the big piece, I can come right here and just take this side, slide it, and then with the material, I walk it in. So I can show you that too. Let me see if I can do it right here with this one. I can come right here and let me stick the left side for you. So I can slide it and open. So you stick it right there. Something about the SLX is that you can actually, once it's warm, you can pull. You can pull the material when it's warm and it's gonna respond. So you come right here, let's say you stick it right there, right? You come and open here. Right? So you stick that part and now you come to this side, you heat up again. So it goes to the original form, not too much, because then it will shrink and then you just work yourself in right here. You can slide it right here. Work it down right here. That's it. You can open right here. You can work this side. That way you can do that same thing on this one and you just push it in. You finish this side, use this to open and then work it into the other side. That's another way you can do it for this type of stuff. When you have a big piece, I would like to mark with a pencil, I will create a circle and then I will open it, work them in, and then I will start laying down. Before I even lay down anything, I open, when I have it in place, I open this so I can push it in each one first. And then when I have it in, I start squeezing all around. Most of the people will come right here and they do create a bubble right here. They will open, but if you create that bubble, you're creating fingers. So if you make it tighter, when you cut, chances are that all those edges are gonna peel back because you put too much tension on that, on whatever you're doing on that hinge in this case, you're putting too much tension on that part.
All right, Victor. Thanks so much for answering that question. I think that we're on the pretty much a bit over time on us, but I'm just gonna close for everybody. So thanks so much, Victor, and everybody there in person as well, and everybody here online. So Victor, I'll let you do your work there, and I'll just do my closing with everybody here. All right?
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. And I'll be hanging out the next few minutes here, probably the next 2 minutes if you have any last minute questions. If not, you can ask any questions that you have to your local distributor and any Arlon sales managers. So to all of you who joined us today, thank you very much, and may you all have a blessed day.